What's happening, y'all? I got a real authentic video today about how I got started in this online money space and kind of just talk about my journey, right? A little bit different from how to get clients and what is retention marketing, a little bit more about me so y'all can learn more about me, hear my journey so I can really show to you guys that I am not no different from y'all. I'm not no smarter than y'all. I really just stuck to one thing, how it got me where I needed. And hopefully my journey can inspire you guys in any shape or form to stick to whatever you're doing or continue something or even get started, right? So let's take it all the way back to level one, right? We're going to say high school. So if y'all don't know, I'm in Texas, born in India, but grew up majority of my life here in Texas, DFW, straight up, more near Fort Worth side. Currently, I am in Houston, as y'all can maybe tell from the skylines. But yeah, high school, freshman year, sophomore year, all of that. I really wasn't the most business oriented person ever. Usually, a lot of people have a cool entrepreneur story about how they like literally sold lemonade out of a lemonade stand, or they were reselling chips or fucking shoes or something. I was not like that. I really just love sports. I played sports. I gamed with my friends, and I just trolled, joked. Very normal guy, right? In that process, I do have Indian parents. So my parents put a lot of direction and pressure towards what career I wanted to go into. They were a lot more chill than other parents, I will say, but they really wanted me to pursue the medical route. So freshman year, my high school that I went to is a really nice school with a lot of opportunities. It was honestly a great school. They had certain programs within each high school in our district. So if you wanted to go to like business in life, then you would go to the separate school where they had a whole curriculum around business, then you do that. If you wanted to be cosmetology, then you go to another school. So my school offered the Biomedical Science Academy. I chose it because number one, I wanted to go to the same high school as my friends, kind of just go straight through that pipeline. And it honestly just worked because my parents wanted me to do it. Me and all my friends did it. We got selected. We rolled through with it. It was great. Come around sophomore year, we all ended up dropping it, right? Because I quickly realized that is not for me. Like, I hate that. And I remember just my dad constantly asking me, and he was very disappointed when I actually dropped, but he would always ask me like, hey, like, what are you going to do now? Right? Like, what's the plan? Like, what do you want to do in life? And it wasn't in like a concerning way, but in a little bit more like get your shit together way, right? And I told him like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Maybe do something in business. And he always kind of thought business was just this throwaway answer I had just to answer something for him. So yeah, fast forward senior year, I applied to the University of Houston. For y'all don't know, I've been Houston through and through with everything I've done. Texans, Rockets, always came to this city with my dad when I was young to watch Rocket games, just do things like that. So it only made sense I went to UH. So I pull up my freshman year. My first 3 weeks were honestly brutal. I was really homesick, and I really didn't care too much about my grades. I kind of just got lost in the social aspect, which was really fun at the time because I go from high school, very small town where everybody knew literally every single person, and now I'm here in this really massive school with a ton of people, and it was honestly great. So I was going out a lot. I was playing basketball a ton with my friends. We were in the dining hall all the time. We were playing video games. We never actually did schoolwork. Now comes around second semester of freshman year, and I realized, okay, I gotta start like being serious about my grades, especially because my parents are paying for this, right? And I don't really come from a lot of money. My dad, my family, we literally came from India. My dad hustled his way up, makes good money now, but the root, fundamental understanding of, hey, like, look, we don't come from money, so you gotta respect what we have. So if we're feeding you and putting you through school, you gotta respect it and give it the best of your best, which makes sense. I was like, all right, bet. Um, Second semester, I start taking school a little bit more serious. I get into the business school. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do business. I don't know what specifically within business, but I'm gonna just say I'm gonna do business just because I don't want to do anything else, right? So now we come into my sophomore year. Now this is where I see people joining clubs, people going to career fairs, people applying for internships, and talking about all sorts of these things. I've always been a very competitive person, so if the right thing made me interested in the competition, I'd go all in on it, right? But for some reason, I just didn't want to do that stuff in life. Like the idea of working for another person in a 9 to 5 just sounded like hell, especially during the fact that all throughout high school, I worked at a Walmart. So I really got to see what a 9 to 5 was like, and I hated every single bit of it. I remember I wanted to go to Miami with my friends on my senior year trip. I told these people 2 months in advance, hey, can I go? They say yes. And then the last second, they end up telling me no. I still ended up going, but I hated that. Like another man had the power of me deciding if I got to go hang out with my loved ones and go get to enjoy things in life, right? So that honestly just enabled these thoughts throughout my head, like, yo, I can't do this 9 to 5. It's not for me. Same time, I also just would never see myself working a 9 to 5, like sitting at a desk job or doing anything like that. I knew I always wanted to do something solo, especially because all the things I wanted in life, like the nice cars, the nice cribs, literally everything that I wanted, it would require a lot of money that I would never get. So I had to find a way, how can I make a lot of this money, but do it legally and not do scamming, trapping, or none of that, right? So that's where I really got introduced to online money. So the first course I ever joined was Andrew Tate's course, right? Which I feel like a lot of young guys on here, if you're watching this or people that have already made it, I feel like a lot of people found their success through this, right? Either people started something and they made it or they didn't. And for me, I chose copywriting, right? So I started going all in on that. And I remember I was doing a ton of outreach and I finally closed my first client. This guy paid me $50 to write him 2 emails. And I remember writing those emails and sending it over to him and him literally PayPaling me. And in my head, I'm thinking, no way, like this online money thing actually exists. And that $50 was one of the best feelings. That was better than working my ass off at Walmart and getting a $3,000 paycheck, right? I was like, okay, this is the proof of concept that this thing works. I'm about to go all in on this. So I went all in and I tried and I tried and I just couldn't shake it because I realized I'm really not the most creative person. That's when I stumbled upon another course, which the guy's name is Cardinal Mason. Joined this program, learned from him. Back then, he had this other program called Cash Flow Syndicate, and it was broken up into copywriting and email marketing. Now, as you guys know it as retention marketing. And I noticed that Mason was doing retention marketing and he did copywriting, but he did a lot of retention marketing. I'm like, I like that because everybody else is focused on this, but no one is really focused on retention marketing. So I really want to do this thing, right? So I started going all in on it. And then from there, I started reaching out to people. I got some work, some didn't. People would like kind of drag me along saying like, hey, yeah, like we'll work with you. No one actually ever ended up doing it. And then started reaching out, just getting more involved within Twitter and people just giving me free game. And then from there, I started getting clients, right? Now, here's the thing. I was so scared of working with the big dogs, like the big brands. I honestly thought if a brand was making $50,000 a month, like it scared the shit out of me, like the idea of working with them, right? Now, 50,000 is really the smaller end of the clients that we work with. But I remember just being so scared. So I started contacting small brands. And I remember these small brands, they're obviously interested in it. They want to grow, nor do they have a lot of capital, but they were willing to invest. So I remember I was signing a ton of deals, a ton of clients. They're paying me $500 a month. Another paying me another $500. One paying me $750. Another paying me $1,000. Just stacking and signing clients, right? And it was going well. And this, I want to say, was 2023, September all the way into December, right? So almost like Q4-ish. And I honestly took that model, signing these small brands, all the way up to $5,000 per month. So I'm like, oh shit, this works. I had a ton of anxiety already because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to career fairs. I'm not doing any of this stuff. I'm going all in on this. So that kind of felt rewarding to see. Start of New Year. I'm not even lying to y'all. Start of New Year, January, everybody left. I had one client stick with me in that process. Everybody else left. And they didn't leave because my service delivery was bad. It was purely off the fact that, number one, they didn't have the money to afford it. So when brands don't have money or when people don't have money, they cut their unnecessary costs, which was always me and other agencies. And at the same time, they're not seeing a lot of money because they're not getting a lot of site traffic. So they're not seeing a high ROI in the first place. So that's when I really contemplated giving up. I'm like, hey, I just don't think this is for me, right? Because I remember I tried with soccer, I went nowhere. I've tried things in life, I just never ended up doing it. So I'm like, holy shit, I maybe am what my dad tells me. I just quit things and I stop and I may just got to go to this 9 to 5 and give it a shot. Even though I'm a little bit late, everybody else getting internships, I can still try. But I remember there was just one day where I was really, really down. Like it felt like the world was ending. Like truly, it felt like that. And I don't know. It was something in me in that moment. I realized like I came too far to stop. And I knew that if I were to go lock in on 9 to 5 stuff and go that corporate way, I'd still end up finding my way back to business one way or another. So I might as well stick with it. And then that's when the one saying really became a pivotal part for me. Actually, two sayings, right? Number one, if it was that easy, everybody else would be doing it, right? And I realized, look, there's a reason why not everybody else does this, because it is hard. That's why I'm going to do it. It's supposed to be hard. These are the moments where God is testing me. And then the second one was the world is yours. That's when I really realized like things are going to be hard, but everything I want within life is within my reach. I can make this world exactly how I want it to be. I just have to be willing to put in the work. And when you're putting in the work, again, it's not easy. So people give up. As long as I don't give up, I can make it. So I started going again. That one client that actually ended up staying with me, right? They became my biggest case study ever. This brand was doing $500,000, $600,000 months, and we were printing money for them. And throughout that process, I was signing a couple clients. I started working with bigger people. I realized I can't work with these small guys no more. And the outreach to get bigger people was so much more different. I was like, okay, I need to invest in some sort of mentorship. So I want to say around July-ish, I was flirting with maybe like $3,000 per month. And then that one client I had that I drove insane results for, they left because my service fulfillment was not good at all. My team wasn't good. The way I was communicating wasn't good. Nothing was good. We drove them a shitload of results, but that's when I really realized it doesn't matter how much money you drive. If you don't deliver a good experience for the people you work with, they don't want to work with you. And despite me and him being hella tight, it didn't matter. Like my work, me not communicating, checking in with him every day, letting him know what we're doing, him giving us feedback, we're lagging on it. It sucked, but he was one of the coolest, most awesome dudes I've ever met. And he was like, I'm willing to help you grow in any way I can. So I asked him, can we do a face-to-face video interview style? I've seen that those do really well. And I know for a fact if I hopped on a sales call with somebody and I literally told them like, hey, I helped this brand do $1.72 million, listen to what the direct like market, listen to what the director of marketing said about it, it would do really well. And he was like, yeah, more than happy. And that was my first proof. And the reason why I was actually able to drive him such good results was purely off the fact that I worked with these smaller brands. They didn't have a lot. So I had to find any way I could to squeeze as much money out of emailing as I could. So when I took it to a broader brand that had a ton of traffic coming in, they had a ton of ad spend, they had a lot of budget, it was so easy. And then from there, that is when I actually invested in my mentorship. I'm going to leave their names out of it. I don't know if they want it to be told or not, but I invested in their mentorship at the time, right? To help me get to $10,000 per month. And possibly one of the best decisions I ever made, because I got into this late August. Come around December time, I was making $7,000 a month. So now this is approaching senior year of college for me, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like this is like perfect. I'm making as much or if not more than I would if I was to work corporate. And guess what? If I want to make more money, I just got to go put in more work. I love the idea of this. I didn't have to work 12 months and then get a bullshit raise. My fault. I don't know. Some sort of errors. But yeah, I was like, okay, I need to lock in. And I remember right then and there, everything felt better, right? The anxiety eased up, the pressure eased up. My dad actually started trusting me, right? That was one of the best things. He actually became supportive of the business. At one point where he almost dogged on it and shit on it so much, he now trusted me, right? He knew that it could work. And again, I never had no sort of resentment towards my dad through any of this. Like this guy is an immigrant, worked his ass off. He did all these great things so I could have an easy choice and way of getting into success. And I chose the complete opposite of that, actually. I went the riskiest way possible and did business. So of course I never blamed him throughout any of the process. But yeah, then from there, I really just put my head down and kept working. And the great thing was within that mentorship, I got to actually get the direct framework, scripts, everything needed to get to the point where I am right now of making $15,000 per month. But more importantly than that, I got taught the things that I was doing, the reason why it was working and the reason why I needed to do X, Y, Z things. And when I kind of got started, there was not really much help within retention marketing. The first course I joined was great, but it was not the most in depth, right? Like learning Klaviyo was hard. No one talked about it. No one talked about how do you start an agency for this. No one ever talked about it. You could go find a course on drop shipping, SMMA, or something like that, but there's nothing for what I want to do. So my path was just a lot more difficult because number one, there wasn't a lot of information on it. And number two, if there was, it was very outdated. So it was really great having that mentorship to help because they have helped multiple retention marketing agencies scale and grow. So I was able to become one of them. And life after that was great because I went from being in a dorm room, literally working in my college lectures, skipping classes, doing all that just to go all in on this business. I finally started to get the fruit of my labor and it felt amazing. So then I was able to do nicer things like get, a Rolex, was able to get a nicer high rise, and I have many great things coming for me throughout this process because I'm just going to keep working, keep going. But yeah, like this just goes to show that I'm not any different than y'all. I'm not someone that's really smart, not someone that had an entrepreneur background or anything like that. I am just a simple dude that just loves to play video games on his free time, talk sports, watch sports, do things like that, right? If I could do it, you could do it too. All you really have to do is pick one thing, get absolutely delusional about it and not care what other people say, put the most insane amount of volume to where it is literally impossible for you to not make it, and then just do it for 6 to 12 months. There is physically no way you don't make more money unless you are self-sabotaging and trying not to, if that makes sense, right? Everything works. I'm not going to sit here and sell you retention marketing. Everything works. Trading works, freelance brand scaling works, copywriting works, SMMA works, Etsy dropshipping, everything fucking works. Pick one thing, go with it. See what you like the best. If you are someone like me that is creative, you like doing things, but you can't like physically bring it to life, but you know what to do and you love strategy and you love psychology and you can understand people, do retention marketing. It takes 2-3 hours of work a day, literally, to do. You hire a team, you go make brands, a ton of money, you get a small paycheck, go stack up brands, and you're chilling. From there, then you get to make the decision of, do you want to scale this agency, right? That's what I'm in. I'm like, hey, I want to scale this agency. There are people that are going to help me scale the agency. So I'm investing in those courses, those mentorships, right? That's my second point. Don't be afraid to invest in courses or mentorships. I know that there are a ton out there. People are selling you a whole bunch of things and people are lying to you. Do your research. Always do your research. Go on Reddit, ask other people in the comments, stalk, whatever. You are about to give your hard work money over to them. If your gut feeling doesn't trust them, you don't like them, and you aren't seeing proof, don't do it. But just remember, you have to invest in yourself at one point, right? Scared money don't make money, and you aren't gonna make money from no money, right? You're gonna have to upfront some money to make it. It's literally like school. The best way I like to describe courses is like school, right? You're paying this tuition. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a degree and a high-paying job, but it's gonna give you all the resources to get you to that point. That's the same thing with the course. Don't expect that person to hold your hand and take you to $10,000 a month within 120 days. That's not gonna fucking happen. But if you hustle your ass off, you work, you put in the hours, you're determined, you're always asking questions, you show up to every coaching call, every one-on-one, it's physically impossible for you to not make money. And that's the exact dog-ass mindset that I had. And I think biggest reason of that was the fact I played sports. I understood that the more practice I did, the more reps, the more obsessed I became, my outputs were exactly what I wanted them to be. I wasn't going to directly get given the thing I wanted. I had to work for it, and there was a bunch of roadblocks, but when I actually ended up getting it, it felt so good because I knew I deserved it, right? And that's the same thing. If you feel like you're stuck in life, you know that 9 to 5 isn't for you and you want to do online business, but there's so much noise, there's so much distractions. First, figure out what business model suits you. And then from there, start doing your research and then invest in mentorship, right? It's the best thing you can do for yourself. If there's one thing I wish I could do, but I could have been making 15, 20, I could be making fucking $100,000 a month by now. It was if I just flat out invested more money into mentorship, And I wasn't scared to. Because here's the thing, you're going to end up spending that money again anyways. At one point down the line, you're going to do it. So you might as well save yourself time, something that you will never be able to buy back again, and get into it now, right? Buy that mentorship now, make the best of it, right? So that's it. Kind of went off a little bit, gave y'all some real ass spill towards the end, but yeah, that's my journey, guys. Again, I just really want to let y'all know that, like, look, you can make money. Anybody can make money. It's not hard. It's just the things you got to do to get it. And just remember, if it was that easy, everybody else would be doing it. And just remember, last thing that I always have to tell you guys, the world is yours.